All right, let's dive in. Today we're talking about a quiet but absolutely massive revolution happening deep inside the tech world. It's a change that could make everything, from our phones to the world's biggest supercomputers, get better faster.
So, have you ever actually wondered why it seems to take forever for the next big gadget to come out? There's a reason for that. A huge, invisible roadblock that's been slowing down even the biggest names in tech.
And that roadblock, that bottleneck, is at the very heart of our story today. It's all about creating the tiny little brains inside our devices, the computer chips, and it has become a serious challenge for the entire industry. The process is called chip verification. And you gotta understand, before a company spends millions, sometimes billions of dollars to actually manufacture a new chip, they need to be 100% positive it works perfectly. This means testing every single function in every possible scenario. And for decades, this has been an incredibly manual job, relying on a small group of super specialized engineers. And the scale of this challenge is it's monumental. You're talking about engineers having to read through thousands of pages of dense, complex documents, trying to pull out the key details, and then build a whole testing plan from basically nothing. It takes forever, and, because it's done by humans, it's always at risk of error. So, the obvious question, right? It's 2024. Why not just throw a big AI at it? We've got these incredible chatbots that can write essays and code. Surely one of them could handle this? Well, researchers tried that, and it turns out the answer is a big no. A single general-purpose AI, no matter how smart it is, just doesn't have the deep, niche knowledge you need for something like chip verification. It's kind of like asking a brilliant poet to perform brain surgery. They're smart, sure, but they just don't have the right skills for that specific job. A single chatbot is a generalist. It just can't handle that level of deep context. And when things get really complex, the results get pretty unreliable. So what was needed was a totally new way of thinking, something built from the ground up for teamwork and specialization. And this brings us to the real breakthrough. Instead of one AI trying to do everything, researchers asked a brilliant question. What if we built an entire team of AIs, where each one was an expert in its own specific part of the process? And that is exactly what they created. It's called the Multi-Agent Verification Framework, or MAVF for short. The best way to think about it is like an AI A-team, a super specialized crew where every agent has one mission: to verify that computer chip design without a single flaw. So here's how this dream team actually works. First up, you have the architect agent. Its job is to read all those dense design documents and figure out what's important. Then, it passes that info to the project manager agent, who creates a super detailed testing plan. And finally, the builder agent takes that plan and writes all the actual code needed to run the tests. It's this beautiful, seamless workflow. Okay, this all sounds great in theory. It's a cool idea, but does it actually work? Can this AI team really do better than a single AI, or even a person? Well, the results are kind of staggering. When they put it to the test on a real project, the MAVF team framework hit an accuracy rate of around 70%, and that single chatbot approach, just 13%. I mean, that's not just a little bit better, it's a completely different league. It's a monumental jump.
And what does that insane accuracy actually translate to? Well, it means a huge reduction in the amount of tedious work human engineers have to do. For the simpler chip designs, this AI team cut down the human effort needed by an incredible 83%. And it wasn't just on the easy stuff. Even when they moved to more complex projects, the AI team slashed the required human workload by 73%. This frees up those brilliant engineers to stop doing repetitive tasks and start focusing on real innovation.
And that right there, that gets us to the most important point in all of this. This technology was never about replacing humans. It's about changing the fundamental nature of the work itself. The people who created this framework call it a paradigm shift, and that's exactly what it is. For decades, the process has been humans creating the work and other humans checking it. Now, we're moving to a new model. AI generates the work, and humans provide that final, expert-level inspection. So, ultimately, this is a partnership. The AI team handles all the time-consuming, heavy lifting. They're like the best junior engineers you could ever ask for. And this elevates the human experts to do what they do best: high-level strategy, creative problem-solving, and true innovation. And you can probably see where this is going. While this all started with designing computer chips, the implications of this idea are so much bigger. This isn't just a story about engineering anymore. This whole multi-agent framework, it's a blueprint. Just think about it. A team of specialized AIs, each with its own role, all collaborating to solve a massive problem. You could apply this model to drug discovery, to financial modeling, to climate science, architectural design, really any field that needs deep, specific expertise.
And that leaves us with one last, really fascinating thought. We just saw how a team of AIs can help build the absolute foundation of our modern world. It really makes you wonder, what's next? If they can help us build a computer chip, what are the limits? What can't these collaborative AI teams help us create in the future?